Welcome back to another weekly outlook video. I am excited for this week. There's a lot of opportunities, a lot of potential. Last week we caught some sells here. I got three sells. I think it was another sell here. My main sell was here, and caught the move. Got a around right here. And there's plenty of potential for Euro USD. We're gonna start off with Euro USD and then work our way down. And let's jump right in. So Euro USD. As always, I always start off on the weekly time frame. This is my main time frame, and the reason why this is my main time frame is because you want to see off how did the previous weekly candle close. So before, I always do my analysis before the market opens. Of course, I see that this candle closed very bearish, and we did get a little bit of a wick, but overall it's still the bearish engulfing in control. So I do think we're going to go deeper into this demand, and we'll see how it continues to react here in this demand. It could be good. I don't know why that's locked right here. It could be good for buys here because we're just sweeping liquidity above here. If you see all of these wicks right here, there was sell side liquidity there, and we just sweep that, and then look, had a reaction as well as soon as we touch into this demand. So now I'm looking for sells on this time for this week. So overall for this week, because of this candle, I'm looking for sells to go in deeper, unless it shows me difference on the daily, after the first, 2-3 days of the week. So that'll be about half the week. Because if it comes in too bullish to this supply, which is a 1 hour supply, which we'll zoom in right now, then this supply might not hold. Then this might be enough of a touch, and just all I had to do is sweep this low right here. So look right here. This is where it built liquidity. So resistance, and then right here, resupports. What happens with this move? We sweep that, we touch the demand. That is enough. Retracement, let's go ahead and measure that to make a higher high. So yeah, nice. We touched 70%. So that's a really nice deep retracement. That could be enough to head to a higher high on the daily time frame, which is my red points here. Now, internally, because the weekly did close bearish, I do think we could potentially sell here from this 1 hour. So now we're gonna go down to the 1 hour and see. Actually 4 hour before we go to the 1 hour. So on the 4 hour, we have this break of structure here, and then we have the internal structure that continues to structure on the way down. So here, that's the 1 hour structure. So on the 4 hour, we broke structure, good, and now we're following internal 1 hour structure. So this is our last swing high and swing low right here. Swing high, swing low, last move up before going down gives us our supply. So now we have a supply here, and we have a bunch of trend line liquidity here. So what you can see here is that there's a lot of support and resistance here. So there's two of them, and then there's minor ones like in these wicks. That's what I say when I say a lot of them. And you can even put one, in here where it sweeps, but that one correlates with this one. But sometimes there'll be minor ones, like there's probably a smaller one in here. But on this time frame, on the 1 hour or 4 hour, there's only two main support and resistance areas that I'm interested in and that are of my concern right here. We have support and resistance here. So resistance, so there's liquidity. What does a support and resistance show me? That there's liquidity there because retail traders bought or sold in that area, and we had a reaction, some kind of reaction. So we have one here. So there's liquidity above here, and then this is my swing high, swing low. So there's two things that can happen. I can maybe sell here like this if we get enough selling pressure at the start of the week and it just continues to go lower, or we can break structure. I can momentarily counter trend trade buy. So we break structure, we're going to be uptrending internally within this 1 hour. So I'm not saying bigger time frame. Once we're done from the weekly and daily, we just use that for direction. Entry time frames are below that, 4 hour and below. So now if we break structure, then I'll look for a buy here, target this supply. That's what I'll be doing. And depending on how it comes to that supply, if it does get over here, then I might look to sell. But if it's super bullish, then I might just keep buying for a break of structure to follow the daily higher high. So that's Euro USD. I'm looking for potential counter trend trade buys. That's what it's looking like with the momentum coming up into this internal supply. So there's an internal supply right here like this. This is what I'm seeing. Like this. This would be a supply. So we already got a little bit of selling pressure here with this wick. Now, again, we do have a reaction here from a previous support. So we have two supports here. We break below that, and then we test that again as a resistance. So now there's buying liquidity, buy side liquidity here on this side. So if we sweep that, that would also be a break of structure, but it also could go down from here. Now it's just about how it does and how much momentum we go breaking above if we do. That's just kind of the couple of trade ideas that I have. And as a professional trader, you have to be ready to adapt and change as the market gives you more information. But Euro USD is looking really good. I am excited for this week for Euro USD. Let's move on to the next one. Let's go to GJ. GJ looks really good. So you can see that we have a gap right here. Really big gap. You can't miss it. On the weekly, we close weak bullish. That is not good for buying. So right now, I do not think we're going to buy at the beginning of this week. Maybe this week it even close bearish. But as of now, right now, when I go down to the daily, I have a previous daily high. This is a candle control on the daily. But just the weekly time frame alone, if we look at my white points, which is on my weekly points, we have higher low, higher high, higher low. We touch this demand, and now where are we heading? To the higher high. Basic structure. Taking it back to the basics. When we scale into the daily, we made a 4-hour higher high, higher low, higher high. Now we have a bearish candle in control. Now this is extremely bearish. This is telling me, hey, we're probably heading to this demand. So at the start of the week, immediately I'm going to look for a sell. Now you see my internal supply that I'm looking to sell as soon as the market opens. But what do I want? Where are we heading, and where I would like to buy is in this demand. There's two things I want to happen. That would be good for this buy is for this to touch the demand, obviously, and then also fill this gap, which is at the end of demand. So we get to the demand, we fill the gap as well, and then we have to see some wicks, buying pressure here, some kind of reversal signs here, break a structure internally. Then I'll look to buy here, target higher high. If I do want to swing it, then I'll target this higher high on the weekly time frame. So that's what I'm looking for here. But as soon as the market opens, we're going to sell. We have two confluences here. We have the weekly time frame, weekly candle, and then we also have the daily candle, bearish candle in control. That's showing me we're going to most likely go down. Now, if you look at the smaller time frame, we have this structure. Let me go ahead and draw that out for you. Lower low, lower high, lower low, lower high, lower low, lower high, lower low. So this is our last lower high point, lower low. So now I'm expecting a pullback sell. Now for the sell, I actually wouldn't target this demand for this specific sell, because I'd get a lot of range, and there's a high chance we get some kind of reaction here, because look at this support. It's a major support. That's not a minor one. So we can have a reaction there, and it's better to secure profits here than to hold on for a longer trade. So here, let me show you. Yeah, this is really good. So you can get about a 3.5 risk to reward. You enter around that supply. Now, if I were to target over here, look, 1-7 versus a 3.5. I'm okay with taking a 3.5. Now, if we get a reaction here when we go down, pull back again, then I'll look to sell again. I would have gotten out of that trade here, look for another sell here, new internal supply, and then target over here, in here, another 1-3. No, you still technically still get like around a 1-7. You're just playing it safe just in case it reverses big here at this. So we get a really big reaction here, and even make a higher high and leave liquidity for later. So this is what I'm looking for GJ. It looks absolutely good. Lots of momentum. Look at the way the week ended. Lots of momentum. So I definitely want to sell. Very much so. For this one is just the only opportunity I'm looking for. Versus EU had a lot of multiple opportunities that could happen. This one is just selling as of now, and probably for just this whole week, probably just going to sell GJ. AUD CAD. Go to the weekly. Notice that I always go to the weekly first. Okay, so on the weekly time frame, we have these structure points: lower low, lower high. So on the weekly time frame, we had a big bearish candle, weekly candle in control. Now, what did we just do? Look at this. You see this? Very, very key right here. We have a support and resistance. We have support and resistance here on both sides, making this a very valid support and resistance area. We have resistance here, but most importantly, what's above this is buy side liquidity. What happens when we go above here? We sweep that buy side liquidity, and look what happens. We get that momentum coming in for sales, and on top of that, we also are in the bigger time frame supply. On top of that, we have this other support and resistance area that's also giving us extra selling pressure, giving us this big bearish candle in control. Could it go down from here? I do think so. Now, because the weekly did close bearish, I do think in a smaller time frame we could buy. So now I do want to highlight that we did have a break of structure, and I put this on purpose. That way you guys can see that this broke structure. We break structure. This was a supply where I could have maybe bought. Market didn't give me no opportunity, of course, and there we go. Just came down super bearish, no opportunity for buys, and that's good. Just follow my rules, and when the market tells you not to buy, don't buy. It's that simple. Just let the market give it to you. I think about the market as a flow. If the current is going down, then I'm not gonna buy. It's that simple. Go with the flow, don't go against the flow, right? So the market has a break of structure. What am I gonna do? Then I'm probably going to sell them and just follow this bigger time from supply. Now this could be a big swinger, and I can even sell right there. Stop loss above here. That's a swing trade. I don't want to do that because I can get better risk reward if I just follow the internal structure. We just make a lower low, pull back, lower high. So there's a supply right here, and then now I can sell and target some of these support areas where we can have a reaction right here in these areas right here. Support right there. Oh, another major support area here that we don't want to miss out here. So these are areas that I'll target because it can start to reverse here, and I can get out. Now, if we do have like a daily candles that are closing that continue to close this bearish, you can continue to hold. For example, say I just sold here, I'll just sell here, stop loss above here, and I just continue to sell, and I just target the overall low below here. So let's just target 104. That's a 104. Now this would obviously be a swing, but this because it will take multiple days. And that's another reason why I'll take day trades and I'll wait for trades in here within this pull back to the supply, because it won't take a week or two. It'll just take. I like to hold a trades up to a week, so 5 days, 5 trading days is what happens in a week. Is usually what I like to do most. Now there will be the rare times where I have phenomenal risk reward and I'll hold for up to 2 weeks. I'll never hold longer than that. Not on my funded account, because I am funded right now with top tier trading, which is actually called TX3 trading right now. And I do have a link in my resource section in my Discord, so you can get the link in to where you can trade, where I trade live accounts, and also where I am an affiliate with TX3 trading, and you guys can get a 10% discount for an account and maybe get funded if you guys do good in your test. Okay, with that being said, I am looking for sells as well on this one. Given where we are, we have 3 confluences that tells us to sell. I'm going to take advantage of that and sell this one. All right, let's go. Last one, gold. Gold looks good. We are at all-time highs, and I've been calling this. If you look at all my YouTube videos from my very first one to all my other ones, I've been consistently catching this for buys, and it's just been looking really good. Now we do have a good confluence already to start off this week with a weekly candle in control. So we're just very bullish. We can expect this next candle to be bullish. My next target is going to be 4,100. So now next week, 4,100. I mean, this is what's been happening in my other videos. I call it out. I say my target price, and it's been hitting week after week after week. Right? You can go check that out for yourselves. My other YouTube videos. It's really nice. That's right there, uploaded before, and you can see that it has happened. Yeah. So next price is 4,100. Not too high, so it's not even. It's very, very realistic. I mean, that could even go higher. 4,200. 4,100 would be my buy. Where I would target, which is just right here, right above the higher high. Now, right now, we did have a bearish candle on the daily, but the weekly did close bullish, so that's greater in value than the daily. Like, it overpowers it. So could this just been a sweep? Yeah. So there's 2 things I can do here to buy. I can either wait for it to come to this demand and buy here, or I can make for it to make a higher high, and then this would be the new demand. If it makes a higher high, so this is not a demand right now that I'm drawing, until it makes a higher high. Let me draw that out. So right here, if this makes a higher high and goes to here, then this will be the new higher high. This will be a demand. We pull back by, entry, stop loss below here, target. anywhere from 4,100 to 4,200 is what I would target. So great potential on this, given that the weekly is still really bullish. Lots of opportunities for this week. And that's it for this video. If you guys enjoyed this video, make sure you guys like and subscribe and comment. Let me know what you guys think for these pairs or any other pair, and I might even check it out, and I might even do a video on it. So have a great trading week, and I'll see you next week.